everybody, I'm Jessica Hawk, and I run product marketing for Microsoft's data, AI, and mixed reality business. I'm so excited to be here today. Build is always a really important time of year for us as we try to talk about what's new with our offerings, with our customers. But it's a kind of a personally exciting moment for me because until recently, I was running a software consulting company. And frankly, I was often in the position of having to broker the arguments over who was going to get to go and who had to stay back. And I always understood the tension there because while there's no question that we're going to do our best to make sure that we share all of what we're about to talk about for the next couple of days in other media and other formats afterwards, there's something particularly exciting about being in the conversation as it's happening. And so we're just so grateful that you chose to take this time with us. And I'm going to be joined by Rohan Kumar, who runs our Azure data team. And we are going to walk you through everything that we're doing in Microsoft's data and AI business. With that, I'm going to hand it over to Rohan.
We believe we are moving to a world where every application is expected to be intelligent and adaptive to real-time learning. E-commerce and mobile applications, as an example, critically need this to build an amazing user experience. Developers struggle with this given the huge silos that exist between databases and analytic products. Analytics is not just a back-end process for reporting anymore. It's a critical part of the product experience. Businesses expect the ability of building end-to-end data pipelines to make decisions at the speed of thought. Data engineers, data scientists, and business analysts struggle with this given the complexity of making data integration, data warehousing, big data, MLOps, and business intelligence to work together. Meeting data privacy regulations is a critical need for every enterprise. Data and privacy officers struggle with this given governance is not deeply integrated where data lives, making it impossible to meet the regulatory bar. It's clear the fragmentation that exists today between databases, analytics, and governance products must be addressed. The good news is that it's happening now. To serve our developer, data engineer, data scientist, business analyst, data officer communities, we are laser focused on providing a unified platform, deeply and securely integrating our best-in-class databases, analytics, and governance products. The Microsoft Intelligent Data Platform, which Satya announced earlier, is how we are addressing these challenges head-on and truly enabling enterprise agility. We're also integrating the Intelligent Data Platform with the rest of the Microsoft Cloud for enabling richer data experiences for business users of Microsoft 365 and Dynamics 365, citizen developers using the Power Platform, and the GitHub developer community. Let's now look at some of the new innovations that help bring the Intelligent Data Platform to life. I'm really excited to announce that Azure Synapse Link for SQL is now in public preview. With Azure Synapse Link, you can simply pull your operational data into Synapse quickly to run scalable analytics in the cloud and visualize insights with Power BI in near real time, all without impacting the performance and scale of your operational databases. Over 10 million Azure SQL databases globally can now leverage this amazing capability. And that's how we'll continue to support and grow our 500,000 monthly active developers across Synapse, Azure Data Factory, and Data Explorer, and over 20 exabytes of data managed for analytics. We're building a single-click experience to enable you to say goodbye to building and managing complex and expensive ETL pipelines. This is in addition to the Azure Synapse Link for Cosmos DB and Synapse Link for Dataverse capabilities already in the market. Cosmos DB has become the go-to database for modern application development for companies big and small. In fact, Walmart.com's massive e-commerce platform runs on Cosmos DB using multi-region writes for extremely high availability and sub-10 millisecond latency. Speaking of analytics, we're very excited about the integration of Power BI with the Intelligent Data Platform and what it offers our 4 million developers innovating on Power BI and the almost 12 million Power BI users who are ingesting 148 petabytes of data per month. Data developers can build visualizations that connect multiple data sources in Power BI for application developers to seamlessly embed into portal applications. This saves time and eliminates the complexity required to build custom visuals. Power BI Premium Data Marts is now in public preview. Business users can create their own data marts on IT-certified datasets, freeing everyone to do the high-value work that matters the most. SQL Server 2022 is a big part of the Intelligent Data Platform. It will be generally available later this year. There's been tons of excitement and interest around the most cloud-connected version of SQL Server yet. 3 critical integrations supported with SQL Server 2022 are near real-time analytics with Synapse via Azure Synapse Link, managed disaster recovery with Azure SQL Managed Instance, and central governance with Microsoft Purview. This brings me to another challenge the Intelligent Data Platform addresses. Governance systems need to be connected across the entire data estate. The growth of data estates is simply too high to do this after the fact or to rely on manual processes. Microsoft Purview, our always-on governance and compliance platform, is utilized by organizations across every industry. It brings together all of our data governance and compliance capabilities under one umbrella. Capabilities to automatically map and classify data at scale with over 92 billion assets brought under governance this past quarter. A data catalog with over 17.8 thousand monthly active users that empowers all data consumers to easily find trusted, high-quality data. The ability to visualize and govern your full data estate in our cloud and on any cloud. And the Microsoft Purview Data Estate Insights capability will be made generally available soon to give data officers visibility and insights into their data assets across their hybrid data estate. As I mentioned earlier, the Intelligent Data Platform is fully integrated with the Microsoft Cloud. Here's why that's incredible. Imagine merging customer data in Dynamics 365 Customer Insights with the data in Synapse to gain further insights. Powerful capabilities like Microsoft 365 Data Connector to Synapse can enable live collaboration on data projects, including Microsoft 365 and Teams. You'll get immediate access to your data to allow you to train and retrain your machine learning models quickly, giving you the ability to turn data into predictive insights. Citizen developers can use the Power Platform to build customized applications on data stored in Azure SQL and Cosmos DB. We enable sharing data within Synapse with Microsoft 365 users via Power BI. And they can leverage Microsoft information protection and data classification investments made in Microsoft 365 across the entire data estate with Microsoft Purview. And it gets better. All the data and insights generated from these top layers give feedback to the Microsoft Cloud, creating a virtuous cycle. So now the question is, how does the Intelligent Data Platform help you accelerate innovation and achieve agility? Jessica and a great supporting cast have the answer.
Let's start with how it accelerates innovation by helping you focus on what matters most. You can build cloud-native applications, gain insights, and govern all of your data using the tools that you love to create business value and reduce risk, while adding new capabilities as you go. The Intelligent Data Platform frees you from the need to learn multiple ways of doing similar things, so that you can focus on developing. And with the Intelligent Data Platform, you can easily integrate the streaming IoT data and billions of messages into, say, an application that uses AI and ML to provide up-to-the-minute logistics insights. To really get a sense for how Microsoft is doing this, I'd like to invite Rohan to join me for this next bit, along with Rafiq Jalal, Tax and Cloud and Data Leader at KPMG Tax Ignition. Welcome, Rafiq.
Thank you, Jessica and Rohan, for having me here today. It's great to be here with everyone at Build. Just as you said, I lead the cloud and data platforms for KPMG Tax globally.
Rohan, you've been partnering with Rafiq and the KPMG team for some time now. Can you tell us a little bit more about the work that we're doing together?
Absolutely, Jessica. Our product and engineering teams have worked closely with Rafiq and his entire team at KPMG to build out their next generation data pipeline, standing up a global Azure deployment to solve complex data and analytic challenges with data governance in mind. In fact, their latest solution is powered by the Microsoft's Intelligent Data Platform. They've been great partners with us.
It sounds like it. And Rafiq, if I'm not mistaken, at KPMG, you recently launched a new data management services platform. Can you tell us a little bit about the solution?
Sure, Jessica. So KPMG is a global business providing tax, audit, and advisory services. KPMG Digital Gateway is our flagship tech platform for legal and tax services and offers consistent experiences for our clients across the world. Now, it's built on the Microsoft Cloud, just as Rohan said, and it's been in the market for a couple of years now. What we're announcing now is Digital Gateway's Data Factory, which adds global scale data management and analytics capabilities to that platform. So we're making huge investments in this space, and I've worked closely with your product and engineering teams, and I've seen tremendous success in our ability to execute at scale and handle some of the most complex data and analytics challenges. All of this while keeping our clients' data secure on the Microsoft Cloud. Now, as you know, we operate in a very highly regulated space, and being a collection of distinct KPMG member firms operating together makes the tech landscape very challenging. It's funny that just a couple of years back, we were having challenging discussions with our clients about why cloud. Now, more recently, the discussions are why not cloud, or how do we get there quickly, making all of these things a lot more easier for us. So thank you, Microsoft, for helping the industry at large get to this point.
Well, it's been a great partnership. So can you talk a little bit more about how the solution works?
Sure. So Digital Gateway at its core is a collection of microservices, things like task automation, workflow tracking, document collaboration, data collection, analytics, and visualization, and a whole suite of data products. All of these are put together and made accessible through a KPMG user experience layer. Now, these microservices are built by teams, managed by different teams across different parts of the world, and are deployed into multiple cloud regions using an automated pipeline release process. KPMG Tax as a business supports numerous services, and each of these domains have unique data needs. We have so many different operational systems that we've built over the years. And from an analytics standpoint, we are considering a data mesh approach with secure and integrated platforms that support a repeatable pattern across these different decentralized domains. Now, all of these are built using the modern data warehouse architecture. Now, this is not easy for us. We have a multi-member firm, multi-tenant environment, and inherently that adds a ton of complexity. All of this because our clients and users are logging in using Azure AD B2B. But we work closely with your product teams, your Excel Online team, Power BI, Synapse, Azure machine learning product teams over the years to help improve our ability to operate in a highly regulated environment and with such a complex Azure AD tenant structure. So just as a couple of recent examples, your Synapse team worked with us, and we are now able to have our data ops professional build pipelines and check in code into an Azure DevOps Git repo in a different tenant. That, along with the ability to integrate the Synapse user interface into KPMG's user experience, has tremendously improved the productivity of our analysts and our data ops professionals as well.
And what has the impact been like for this so far?
Huge. So just to give you some context, many of our clients have historically had huge data challenges. They've had to work with multiple ERP systems. They have so many reporting obligations across the world. They have to deal with different languages, different reporting formats, and face an ever-changing regulatory environment. They also have to deal with multiple copies of data on their desktop using tools like Excel and Power BI. But with Digital Gateway, we've integrated Excel online, embedded Power BI and Synapse into our user interface, and this allows all of our analysts and users to have a one-stop shop experience and have a common and easy-to-use interface. So now clients provide data just once, and it's leveraged across all of the applications that we have at global scale. So that's for the end users and analysts. On the other hand, we have our developers and data teams who too have a unified experience using Synapse. And they are now able to operate on data and build data products and operational systems across these various different domains. I can say that looking back after all of these years, we made such a great decision to choose this tech stack, and I've really benefited from all the innovation that's happening at Microsoft. Our customers really trust Azure with their data, and with capabilities that are rolling out, things like VNet integration and private link support for all of your database products, Synapse, machine learning, Power BI, all the way to the accuracy that we get just out of the box with cognitive services, things like Forms Recognizer as an example. And now more recently with the breadth of governance that you have with Purview, gives us all the confidence in the world to maintain the trust of our clients. Powered by the Microsoft Cloud as its core underpinning, we see that KPMG Digital Gateway as a platform is helping drive the growth of our tax and legal businesses, and it's going to continue to do that for the months and years to come as well.
Wow, it's impressive to see how KPMG's Digital Gateway, in partnership with Microsoft's Intelligent Data Platform, has made it easier for KPMG teams to serve customers in a seamless and secure way. Thank you, Rohan, and a special thanks to you, Rafiq, for joining us today.
Thank you.
I love hearing from organizations using the tech we're talking about. Let's talk about another reason we think you'll be as excited about the Intelligent Data Platform as we are. It enables you to be more agile, and we've all learned how quickly the world can change around us. So having agility and being able to pivot quickly is more important than ever before. You need to be able to build and develop how you want, deploy where you want, and get insights quickly in hybrid and multi-cloud environments. That's why companies like HSBC, Unilever, and others are developing apps with Microsoft's Intelligent Data Platform. Access to real-time information and analytics means HSBC's frontline staff can have more meaningful connections with customers, and Unilever can make faster, data-driven decisions as they develop new products. Let me give you one other example, BP. BP has ambitious sustainability goals, and they know data is key to meeting them. So with Microsoft's Intelligent Data Platform, they created a hub to bring together data from cloud and on-prem sources. They're also using Azure Digital Twins and Synapse to create advanced AI and ML models. As a result, they're better able to track, manage, and optimize carbon emissions in production sites, ultimately reducing their carbon footprint. These companies, like so many others around the world, partner with Microsoft because we are a partner they can trust from the very foundation. Now let me hand it back to Rohan to talk a little bit more about how the Intelligent Data Platform is built with security, governance, and trust at the core.
Thanks, Jessica. Absolutely. The products and services within the Intelligent Data Platform share a common frame around security and governance. It properly protects data in the same way across all services and without developers needing to create one-offs or bridge apps to label and protect your data. Microsoft Purview integrates all your data asset metadata into a holistic data map that auto-scales. And because it's automatic, with just a few clicks, you can discover and classify your data assets in a matter of minutes. Another big part of data governance is responsible AI. As part of the Intelligent Data Platform, the interactive Responsible AI dashboard and the scoreboard on Azure Machine Learning helps you understand model performance and mitigate unintentional biases. And we're delivering the GA of the Azure SQL Database Ledger, which tracks changes with the power of blockchain to attest your data hasn't been tampered with. With AI, models, and data you can trust, you can develop data-powered experiences with confidence. Here's a real-world example. As part of a company-wide data migration effort, a global insurer consolidated its data silos. And it moved its models to Azure, creating a single source of high-quality data in Azure SQL database. To govern its data, the insurer's analytic teams deployed Microsoft Purview to overlay its technical and business data. Speaking of trust, let's talk about AT&T. More than 400 million customers depend on AT&T to connect to points all over the globe to talk, text, and exchange data over AT&T networks. The iconic company is undergoing a very large data center migration to move their on-premises estate to Azure. Using Private Link to connect its Azure Platform as a Service and Azure Infrastructure as a Service resources, AT&T has created a single version of truth, centralizing tools and data in Azure Data Lake storage. This solution provides secure and easy access to business insights through Power BI. Now that you've seen how integral data governance is to the Intelligent Data Platform, let's spotlight a few more ways you can use what you've already invested in. To ensure the continuity of your new tech, AzureArc-enabled SQL-managed instance, Business Critical, is now generally available. The Intelligent Data Platform also includes Azure Machine Learning Endpoints, which is now generally available, providing a unified interface. On a final note, Azure Cosmos DB has new enhanced elasticity capabilities to improve performance, scalability, and cost effectiveness. To get the details on these new features, integrations, and more, be sure to check out breakout sessions throughout Build.
Thanks, Rohan. What a great way to spend my first Build. Thank you, everyone, for joining us to hear about the Microsoft Intelligent Data Platform. As you can tell, we're really excited about this. Enjoy the rest of Build, and let's keep the conversation going.